Yeah, very good evening to all of you. I welcome Dr. Gururaja HL, today's speaker for the session. Dr. Gururaj, on behalf of all the DT officials and the staff members and students, I welcome you to this AROHAN series 17. So today, we will be delivering a lecture on lecture on AI, and it's my privilege to introduce Dr. Gururaj HL, associate professor working at the Department of Information Technology, Manipal Institute of Technology, Bangalore, and he is a renowned speaker, ACM senior member and IEEE senior member, and he has been identified as ACM distinguished speaker for the year 2018 and 21, and he is a sponsor, faculty sponsor, MIT Bangalore ACM student chapter, and he has been also recognized as author for recognized Google recognized author, and he has the research interest, machine learning, cyber security, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, quality of service, aware the protocols of ad hoc networks, and he is also expertise in network security, and he has got a vast teaching experience and research experience to his credit, and he has done his PhD from Malayalam College of Engineering, VTU, Belagavi, MTech and BTech from VTU, Belagavi, and he has got a lot of awards to his credits, and he has taken some consultancy work and got good publications and textbooks and your book chapters, and it's our privilege to have you on this particular occasion. Gururaj, once again I welcome you to this session, and I request you to continue your session. Over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Very good evening to everybody. It's my great opportunity and privilege that Basra sir has given the introduction to me. It's my honor, sir, on behalf of everybody. And personally, I would like to thank you so much, sir. Let me share my screen. Once it's visible, please acknowledge participants. I think my screen is visible.
Yeah.
Yes. I think as we have limited time for 30 minutes, let me give you some highlights towards the introduction of AI and generative AI in cybersecurity. Let me directly start with the talk of the day. So I think we all know about cybersecurity, which plays a very important role in today's digital area. We have how cybersecurity plays a role. I think before some years back down the line, we used to give importance to money, neither the assets and all. But now everybody give importance towards digital assets. Okay, I think I used to give the example always, like we used to give importance to some business like tomato business or vegetable business, or it might be any kind of other business. But now everybody tend towards digital business. Okay, what is the meaning of digital business? It's nothing but if you want to start any company, or if you want to start any small shopping center or clothing center, what is the basic requirement we need is we need resources, right? Once we have all the resources available on platform, on board, we wanted the greater requirement of the customers, right? How we get the customers? We may have the contact list of 1,000, or we may have the contact list of 2,000, but it's not at all no sufficient for us to give the publicity, right? How we can give the publicity with the help of digital business? In the sense, for example, I have opened a clothing center between the age of 16 to 25 or 30. I have to target certain number of people who are in that age, right? I have to take those, I need those mobile numbers and their mail IDs. I will get just with the help of dark web. Okay, so guys, this is just a brief introduction. If you have any questions or any thing, if you have any at any point of time, please put up a question. I'm very happy to answer back all your questions. Okay, so what the actually business people talk about is they wanted exactly the mobile numbers between the age group of, as I mentioned, 15 to 25 or 30. What they'll do is they will purchase the mobile numbers and mail IDs, like as we used to go with other business like vegetable business or something like that. Okay, so where the the people will get the mobile numbers, we only give wherever we go. If they say that you have an option of having 20%, 30% or something, without our knowledge, we'll install the application or we'll give the mobile numbers. Correct? So that is the importance of data right now. Okay, so as we are participating in this digital era, that to this 2021 and 25 and all, we all tend towards, I don't know whether we, once we wake up, we will pray the God or not, we don't know for sure. We'll check the mobile device for the WhatsApp application, or it might be mail, whether we got the mail or not. I mean to say that the data plays a very, very vital role. I can call such data sensitive data. Okay, end of the day, we have to protect such data. Okay, how we can protect the data? And I can call putting up all these in one umbrella, data and all, we can call them as data security, or it might be network security, or it might be digital security. We can put everything under the umbrella of cyber security. Cyber means that the data which are at vulnerable stage. Correct? So keeping this motivation, let me move ahead. I think this slide impacts you in a greater heights, tends towards the loss of the Indian, which affects the GDP also sometimes. Okay, which loss, you can see here how much cyber fraud happens nowadays. I think before 10 years or 20 years, how to measure the strength of a nation? We used to measure the strength of a nation with the help of naval force, army force, correct? Or it might be, how powerful we are. But now, everything, if you want to harm somebody, or if you want to attack somebody, I don't want to have physical fitness right now. If I know his password, if I crack his password, I'll post the obscene information against him, and those will affect him. And many of the students at the age group of 16 to 25 or 16 to 20, they ended their life. Okay, see, this is the impact of cyber security nowadays. Okay, how we can overcome those attacks? That is the whole talk of my day. This PPT may not be suffice for that. I'm very sure, because whatever I'm presenting right now, it's for more than 2 hours and 3 hours. Let me put up everything within this allocated time for me, and I'll give you some glimpse of application of artificial intelligence and Gen AI. I think many of you people know about this generative AI, how it can impact on cyber security. Okay. Yeah, I think many of you people know about this geek word nowadays. Wherever we go, whatever we do, every student and every researcher will tell about, sir, we are doing the project on machine learning, deep learning, federated learning, or blockchain technology and all. What exactly the meaning of machine learning or deep learning? I think you all know about this. Just a part of my talk, let me give you some glimpse on this. Machine learning is nothing but you are making the machine to learn, just to learn, right? You are making a machine to understand what it's doing. Correct. Okay. What about deep learning? It's not like that. Along with the learning, we have analysis. Let me give a simple epitome for this. Okay. I have a small baby, when a born baby model. The born baby, we cannot ask the baby to walk or speak, right? What we'll do, we'll make some small noises. We'll make some small sounds, signs and all. Once a baby is going to train, it was a dummy husky box. When the baby born, the brain was dummy husky, right? The baby will keep on learning based on the environment, in the sense how I sign, how I speak, how I talk, right? Similarly, machine learning is same thing like that, wherein which will call the system or the model or which is going to train. It's a dummy husky box. We'll keep on training the model, right? Let me show you the shape and size of the apple. We'll call it as an apple. If it is something different, color is changed, we'll call it as green apple. Something like this, okay? What about the deep learning? It is completely contrast and, in a greater details, if you want to speak about the same baby, if we give an example for that, will I tell the baby, please don't touch that vessel, it'll get hurt. What the baby will think of, oh, I should not touch this vessel, I'll get hurt. This is all about machine learning. What the deep learning talks about, baby not only thinks that if I touch this vessel, I'll get hurt. Along with this, any vessel which is hot, I should not touch, I'll get hurt. This is a greater understanding of deep learning. And if you want to talk about artificial intelligence, this is the umbrella in which all deep learning, machine learning, all comes into picture. Okay. And yeah, there is one important type which we commonly call it as Gen AI or generative AI. I think many times, let me take you some, typical example of cyber attack or the phishing attack, which is one of my favorite attack, where my PhD students and MTech students and BTech students are working on this. Phishing attack is nothing but the same as a fisherman, right? What a fisherman will do, if you want to catch a fish, he will put the earthworm at the knob and he'll immerse that knob into the water. What the fish will think of, oh, I got the fish, but it's not a fish. It's a way to catch hold of the fish. Similarly, the people will send a lot of advertisement mails, advertisement messages to all saying that you won the lottery. Please click the link to retrieve the money or something. If you click, we'll become like a fish. Right. So in that phishing attack, we have various types of phishing attacks. Something like we have wishing attack, VISHING, and mishing attack, MISHING, and we have also have smishing attack, SMISHING. What exactly the meaning of wishing attack? Wishing attack is nothing but same type of phishing which comes under the same type of category of phishing, in which we'll talk about voice calls. Like the bank people will call, some attackers will also call in the same way, saying that we are calling from ICICI Bank. Please give your last 4-digit credit card numbers or something like this. They all comes under the category of wishing attacks. The attacks happens on the principle of voicemails. Okay. Similarly, we have smishing, SMISHING, something like about to have on SMS. I think we'll got lot of plum of messages to your inbox saying that you won a lottery, or just in one click you'll have bank loan will be offered, something like this, right? So similarly, we have one more kind of phishing called as smishing, mishing. Mishing is nothing but the messages or the mails that appears to inbox. No banks will be having the mail ID of SBI@gmail.com or ICICI@gmail.com and all. Every bank will be having their own domain. Please understand. Okay, so those all comes under smishing. Mishing attack. Any mails that are completely obscene or that are not authenticated, we can call them as mishing attack, mail attack, SMS attack, and voice attack. Okay, keeping this. If I'm a person, I'm working on, I think you probably heard of this name called as deep fake. Correct? Can I get the answer? What is the meaning of deep fake? Anybody? Deep fake? Can I get some response? What exactly the meaning of deep fake? Okay, probably I think you might not heard of this name. Deep fake is nothing but, however, we have heard of this name, fake attacks, but deep fake is next level of attacks in which we all live in that word, in which, if you want to analyze or if you want to predict whether the attacker is a voice call, I got a voice call from an attacker, I have to predict that this attacker is a fishy attack or, wishy attack or not. How to predict that? There should be a lot of data set if you want to talk about machine learning. I think you all know about what exactly machine learning will does. If you train the model, how the model will train based on the training model, the model will be give the prediction accuracy, right? Based on F1 score or something like that. Okay. So if you want to predict whether the call, what I got, wishing call, whether it's wishing or not, I need the database of the voice. Unfortunately, we'll not have any kind of deep fake data sets available on any kind of repository, something like Kaggle or UCS or Fisher Tank. No, it's not available. So one of my students is also working on this. He is collecting the data set by using a new SIM card. He is calling to various people and getting the information. He's recording the information. Based on that, he's going to convert all the voice calls to quantize the voice calls to binary data. End of the day, he's going to predict whether the data using some classifier is going to predict the data or the voice call is fishy or not. Okay, this is one deepfake phishing attack. Similarly, if you want to talk about a deepfake, audio attack or video attack, it's very, very important. I think you all know about biometrics, right? How the biometrics works by thumb impression, palm impression, facial recognition, or it may be iris recognition and all, right? So they all comes under the property of deepfake. In which respond whether the face or attack has happened. It's not about the complete face. It can be divided into two types of things. I think you've probably heard of this thing. Pixel level deepfake or frame level deepfake. What I mean of pixel, I don't want to modify the whole picture. I think you might have been heard of this thing called of morphing attacks, right? What exactly the meaning of morphing? Changing the appearance or the occlusions, or it might be changing the face or the body parts and all that. This is very threatened to the country states, and not only country states, we also have it threatened to this in local places also. We should be very careful about this, in which they'll not change the complete face of a person, or it might be the appearance of a person. What they'll do is they'll do just a minute changes called as pixel level attacks, or it might be frame level attacks. Okay, by that the attacker will not able to understand what kind of data, whether it's actual data or it's fishy data. Okay, so this again they are working on this, generating the phishing data. How to generate those when we don't have the real videos or real-time videos and all? They capturing the real-time audio and video, including the face person, with lot of occlusion. What I mean of occlusion? Like facial mask or glass. They are called as occlusion. Based on this, they can able to generate whether the attack is, whether the photo is authentic photo or fishy photo, or the video is authentic video, real-time video, or fishy video. Okay, so this can be done with the help of generative AI. Why Gen AI is very important? Because I cannot able to have 10 photos. I cannot able to go with the prediction. I need huge number of data set. Okay, when we don't have those kind of data set, I will give you a photo, one photo of mine, and I'll ask the system or generative AI to generate similar kind of some huge bunch of photos. Okay, so for that we have deep learning application in which we are going to use various kind of activation function like ReLU activation function, switch activation function, by which it will modify the functionality and it will capture all the features of the data. That is the main functionality of ReLU function and switch function. Okay, I think I'm not going with the abstract level with my knowledge. I'm just going the basic level of your understanding. If you have any questions at any point of time, I'm very happy to answer all your questions. Please put up your question. Okay, this is all about how AI is having a huge impact on cybersecurity. For example, if you want to make the system, your model or your computers or your mobile phone to detect the attacks at the various stages, at the early stages, I can go with this machine learning model. So it will train the model and it will predict that don't click the link or don't open the mail, or the mail will be put in a spam mail or somewhere. All this analysis can be done with the help of AI. Okay, which will make sure that it will increase your speed of accuracy, speed of detection, and it also increase whether the network, what is network security? I think you all know about this, right? Network is a part of, in the network, it's a part of data security, mobile security, individual node, or it might be connections, everything, right? How it depends, if any one node or any mobile phone got compromised, complete network will be compromised, right? How it can be measured? I cannot wait for the person to inform me that the network has been failure, right? How to detect that? That can be done again with the help of patterns of a network. Okay, and anti-phishing measures, as I clearly mentioned, mails also a very important role, which plays a role. I think we can call them as meshing, in which they have to classify. It's not work with the help of your data keywords, keywords search and all, data mining. It's already obsolete. I think we all know that. Complete your mails and all, they'll work with the help of AI tools and all, based on the not only the sender mail ID, sender name, various parameters they used to consider as a feature extraction. Based on that, it is going to classify whether the mail is authentic or not. Similarly, we have dependable authentication. I think we have heard of this term single sign-in, right? In which one authentication may be valid, some other authentication may not be valid, right? So how we can achieve this pattern, how to recognize this pattern, how to imbibe this into machine learning model. Okay, so this again one more important hot area where we can also work on this behavior analysis. One more important machine learning model which affects the machine learning model. For example, every day I used to consume 1 GB of data in my network. Fortunately, unfortunately, one of the other day, a machine will consume 10 GB of data. It's completely, misbehavior, abnormal behavior, right? This abnormal behavior, anomaly detection can be done with the help of behavior analysis using machine learning again. Okay, these are some of the typical case studies or examples which we can give the highlight on this. This is what exactly AI is used for attacks, automated attacks, adversarial attacks, deepfake and misinformation, social engineering, and bypassing security measures, as I mentioned already. With respect to attacks on cybersecurity, how it does. For the detection on cybersecurity, anomaly detection, I think abnormal behavior analytics, as I said, the network analysis or the node analysis or the user analysis based on that. Threat intelligence, okay. I think for this, I can give a bit example. Even the doctors could not able to predict COVID as a COVID initially, right? They used to call it same as of the cold, or it might be sneeze or something, some basic viral infection behavior, right? The patterns, right? So similarly, the system, if it is a new attack, it's very hard to identify what kind of attack it is. This intelligence can be brought into picture, something which is not normal, not only the attacks which already exist. Along with that, something which is not normal, I can call it as with the help of threat, and we can call or we can suspect that as attack with the help of threat intelligence. And phishing detection, as I already mentioned, phishing, they all comes under the detection of cyber attacks using AI tools. Yeah, defect technology, I think I have already mentioned. As I mentioned, we have various types of social engineering available kits to ensure that whether they are real or they are attacked by defect, and automated information will be there. I think many a times my phone may look similar to my neighbor phone, but it's not the same, right? So that misinformation will be there. And identity theft, financial fraud, yeah. I think I wanted to highlight this, the misbehavior or the pattern identification. Okay. See, there is something called negative balance attack. Have you heard of this name by chance? Anybody? Negative balance attack in cybersecurity? Okay, fair enough. Okay. See, for example, if 1 or 2 rupees got detected from my account, I will not bother a lot. Before that, let me tell you a simple example. If you go to any shopping mall or any malls and all, the offer will be something like 99 or 999 or 499. They'll give you chocolate or they'll keep the money. Nowadays we have it UPIs, we can pay exactly the amount. But think of the money which was got deducted by those innocent people. Either they'll get a chocolate or 1 rupee will be deducted if you give 500 rupees note, right? That 1 rupee is only for you. If you think about the whole organization or the whole company, it's a huge benefit. It's a huge profit. Correct. So keeping this in mind, this bank also in your account, you have some 1 lakh, some amount you have. Out of that, if 1 rupee got detected, you'll not bother at all. Why not bother? Because it's 1 rupee for you. Correct? No. So that 1 rupee is only for you. If you consider the whole all accounts, greater accounts, that's a huge benefit or huge profit for the attacker. Okay. So that those financial fraud will be that analysis will be done, and they'll do that with the amalgamation of blockchain technology. This can be avoided again. Scams and hoax. I think you all know about this. Celebrity pornography also. I think many of the people they'll change the photos of the face. I can call the frame level attacks, frame level deepfake, and they'll release the pornography on the websites, and the people will get, especially in case of US or the country states, we have a lot kind of attacks called as bullying attack, cyber peeping attack, cyber, lot of attacks will happen. They all we can call them as cyber attacks. Okay. Yeah, with the help of this, inclusion of AI, we can able to achieve a few things like endpoint security somehow, and we can also have malware and phishing, and also we have security log analysis. This also can be done with the help of threat detection and prevention. End of the day, if you want to talk about any kind of analysis, or if you want to talk about any kind of patterns, any kind of detection, it's all about the patterns and anomalies. Like if it is the similar pattern happens every day, we'll assume it has normal behavior. If something which is completely changed, abnormal behavior will happen, we can call them as patterns, and also we can call them as anomalies. These are two important things wherein which we can give provision for the attacker to identify whether this is an attack or not. Yeah, I think one more. Let me give you. I think yeah, I have 5 more minutes with my knowledge. Let me give you some important yeah case studies. Yeah, how we can overcome this cyber attacks with the help of somehow not exactly 100%. I think we are the amalgamation of 6G also nowadays, but still we used to complain, right? It's buffering and all. So again, 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G. Again, we have a lot of drawbacks. So we are not happy with the current generation also. Similarly, attacks of password also. We have numbers. We went with password with characters, special characters. Now we have biometrics. Still we have complaints about that. So similarly, we cannot achieve 100% anyway. Instead of that, we can call it as best effort service. So keeping that, how we can achieve AI and cybersecurity reinforces, like so for example, search for characters of cyber attacks, like what are the characteristics of the attack happened, how the attack happened, which IP address, from where it happened. All this analysis will be done with the help of patterns and anomalies. We can able to incorporate AI for this also. Strengthen the defenses and analyze the data such as fingerprints, typing styles, and voice patterns. Yeah, exactly. I may speak in different versions also, right? This is one more important parameter which was included by my student for the study. For example, if I'm happy, the voice tone or the amplification or quantization will be different. If I'm speaking with a calm mode, the voice signal will be different. Similarly, for various sentiment also depends upon the voice. So keeping all these things, I can identify the anomaly also. Okay, so is the cyber security can be made automated? Sometimes to some extent we can make automation using AI, but not completely 100%, because human intervention is very much required. Wherever we may be the advancement of lot of technologies and lot of automation and all, but still there should be an involvement of a individual human beings. So we may reduce the cost efficiency, remove the human errors of the decision making, automate with the machine. But for example, let me tell you something like this: if a new attack or new pattern appears, the system could not be able to recognize, and simply it will put that anomaly on attack. So we should not keep everything automated. There should be human involvement also. Okay, so I think I have come to the conclusion of my talk. AI and generative AI technologies are transforming the cybersecurity landscape. By understanding and leveraging these tools, organization can enhance security posture, protect sensitive data, and stay ahead of evolving threats. I think it's a greater details. By chance, if you have any doubts or any points, if you want to talk to me or if you want to discuss, we're working on generative AI, we're working on LLMs, we're working on cybersecurity with AI and all. So as I have limited to 30 minutes, I have delivered or I've given some insights or glimpse towards Gen AI and AI for cybersecurity. By chance, if you have any questions or any queries, please feel free to contact me. I'm very happy to answer all your questions. Before I close my talk, this is my website. You can check it out. Yeah, this is my website. If you want to contact me, if I used to update my call for books, call for papers of my conferences, or it might be of my books, or it might be conferences or journals where I'm an associate editor. please feel free to apply your papers on this. And if you want to contact me, feel free to contact me on this thing. I think I'm done. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask a question. I'm very happy to answer back your question. As I have limited time, as sir also mentioned, you have to speak only for 30 minutes, and I've given my best, I believe, sir. Feel free to ask a question. If you're no, ask me the questions later part, I can contact me in this no any of this medias. Okay. Thank you so much. Before winding up or putting the curtain, I wholeheartedly thank my teacher, or I can call him as a mentor. He used to guide me in all aspects. He always motivates me in all aspects. Thank you so much for giving the wonderful opportunity, sir. Any audience, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask your questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Gururaj. Any questions from audience? I think we don't have any questions. But anyway, actually, you have shared your website URL as well as your contact details.
Yes,
and I can make out, I've seen from past many years that you have been actively involved in almost all the academic activities. And really, the students and your colleagues will benefit from your expertise, what you have gained all those years. I think if you want to share your email and even contact number, you can share with our staff and students.
Definitely.
It's a complete, even I know, because we have only a limited time of 30 minutes.
Yes, sir.
So within this, we cannot expect you to deliver the complete comprehensive topic in detail. It's always a challenge, but only thing is just we can give an insight to directions or some sort of guidance to staff and students who are really interested in taking up the research in this area. So in that context, I think definitely students and staff are benefited in this session. In future, I think if wherever there is a need or whenever there is an opportunity, definitely our staffs and students will make use of your expertise, and definitely they will invite you for different occasions. So thank you very much, Gururaj, for joining us and making this session more wonderful. And so very informative and very informative and meaningful session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity, sir. Thank you. As you mentioned, as per the direction, I have shared my contact details and website in the chat window. Participants, if you have anything, if you want to contact me, please contact me with those. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Gururaj. Yeah, thank you. Now, actually, we have next session scheduled by our own in-house faculty. It's on language proficiency for engineering education, trainer and trainer environment by Dr. Arun KV, the principal in charge of Government Engineering College, Vinadagli. Arun, are you there? Dr. Arun?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, start your session, Arun. And,
yes, sir.
You are given 30 minutes of time. And do you have the slides to present?
Oh.
Yeah. You start from first slide.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Sir, is it clear, sir?
Yes, is it clear? Just make you start from first slide.
Yeah.
You do one thing. You just keep your video open. Even last speaker actually forgot to keep the video on. You just you go to first slide. Now it's showing second slide of your PPT.
That's what.
You want to start from here?
Yeah. Not exactly.
Yeah, then you can just start from
first slide. It's not moving properly, I hope.
I think you close once again and share the entire screen.
Right, sir. Is it clear, sir, now?
Yeah, now it is gone first. You just make it full screen. It's in. It's not.
I have made it full screen, sir.
Yeah, that's right. Madam, you please guide me, madam. Guide him, madam. Mudra, madam.
Sir, share full screen, sir.
That's what I'm sharing.
No.
Full
screen. Go to slideshow, sir.
Yeah, I had been to the same slideshow I had been. So this is what the slideshow is.
No, it's in PPT, sir. It is not in slideshow. Just stop the presenting, sir. Just do stop presenting.
Stop sharing.
Stop sharing.
Yeah, stop it.
And sir, just click on that share button, sir. Arrow button.
Share button.
Share. In that last
it's
tab.
a present now, no? Present now button or which button?
Present now button. Arrow. You have a single arrow mark.
Yeah.
Just click on that. In that third last window,
entire screen.
Click on that entire screen. Then share.
No, share is not getting highlighted. That's what I have seen.
Sir, you should click on that entire screen 2 times. Entire screen tab. Then entire screen. Below that, you'll get your screen. No, sir. You should click on that also. Then only you'll get share button.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. Now you do it.
Now you go to slideshow window.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Got it.
It's clear now.
Hide. Stop sharing. Hide. You have no, sir. You just hide
it. I'll hide it. No issue with that. Okay.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. Thank you. So good evening, everybody. So this is a generalized topic of discussion, like language proficiency for engineering education, where we concentrate on trainees and trainee perspective. So in the recent past, what had happened with the global scenario is it's driven by internationalization of higher education worldwide. So where English as a medium of instruction has been widely implemented in all education systems. The medium of instruction, irrespective of the country of study, the English has become a medium of instructions. Wherein, in view of this, what had happened is, as you all know, the AICT has made it a mandate and a compulsory credit course for our engineering students also. So this EL is regarded as a highly important in teaching and learning and is considered as one of the main components of teacher by students generic skills nowadays. See, the English language, what we speak out in every classroom as a teacher, or what the student listens in every classroom as a trainer. See, it has a generic skill now. It is utterly a required skill. But unfortunately, right from our beginning, when I was a student in engineering college, BE, people used to say BE means bad English. But yet it has been continued, I hope so. But here, for a professional courses, in due consideration that the globalization has made it mandatory and it is utterly a requirement for an engineering graduate to know the English or to have a command on the English proficiency. Say AICT and in turn the university has made it compulsory, and he has introduced 2 different subjects like communicative English and professional writing skills in a curricula itself. But even after that, this building the proficiency, what exactly a proficiency means is, see, the way in which you narrate the things. Our proficiency is, say, you know everything in the subject area. Let it be a mechanical. It is not just, see, one thing I would like to clarify. It is not just for English teachers or English learning students. It is for the whole engineering fraternity. It is. Say, the knowledge what we possess, it is different. And the way which we deliver is different. Say, you may not, what knowledge we possess exactly, that should be 100% transferred to our children or the students or the trainees who are listening to us. The transformation of the knowledge starts with the language. So the language, as I told earlier, English has become a mandate language globally accepted language. So the language on which a teacher should have a proficiency. If a teacher has got a proficiency in that language of delivery, the students can listen to him. The student who has got a much proficiency can accept him, can gather the information, can acquire the knowledge. So it is a two-way communication. So that is what proficiency is. Not just speaking the English is not a proficiency. Usage of English to transfer the knowledge is what I call it as a language proficiency. So here, the building English language proficiency involves manipulation of 4 main skills. We need to manipulate. We manipulate in the sense we need to inculcate speaking, writing, listening, and reading. See, the 4 major items, what we use in our classrooms as a teacher, and basically what a trainee, our student, listen or speak or write or read in a classroom, which leads to effective communication both for a teacher and a student. These 4 aspects are both for teacher and a student. So speaking in English, the accent accounts, writing, the handwriting accounts, listening, the attention, the concentration, the reading, again it is attention and a concentration. So these skills, rather than a student, a teacher has the teacher should also develop these skills. So unless we inculcate these skills or unless we follow these things, we can't be effective teachers in our classroom, and we can't command our students, even though we possess knowledge in our subject area, but we are inefficient to deliver the knowledge to our students. But the primary duty of us is what the knowledge good we have in our brain should be transferred effectively to our students. That we can't do if we don't have a proficiency in the language. So now, what the state of art of this proficiency of the language states. See, in the language proficiency, see, the much amount of research has been carried out. You believe it or not, even if you type it in a Google, so you find thousands of papers stating that what is the English language, why it is essential, this, that, everything. But the thing is, the state of the art says, even though much review or much literature or much research has been carried out in this, but the thing is, there are few things which affects on the grasping efficiency of the student might be, or the efficiency of a teacher to deliver the goods, that may differ, or say the conveying of the knowledge what a teacher passes, that may differ. So there are few factors. The geographical location of a student may be a factor. If a college is in as our government colleges, which have been I hope except 1 or 2, all the colleges have been situated in the outskirts of a village, not even a taluka place or something else, villages. So where the location itself may be a problem, the college, the medium of instruction, the qualification of their parents, all these factors will influence much on the proficiency of a student. Also, the proficiency of a teacher, the locality from which I myself have came. So that may also influence my own language proficiency. So all these things, the role of trainer has a vital importance in these aspects, where he has to identify the student belongs to what variety. Depending upon that, he has to convey his goods, because a teacher is paid for that itself. What we have, what we wear, on which vehicle we come to college, it doesn't matter. What we transfer to our students, what knowledge we give to our students. So giving the knowledge to a student needs the proficiency in the language, the hold in the language, So that is of vital importance. The role of this trainer, like a teacher, is of vital importance in these aspects where identification of those factors. So this is what the state of the art of this language proficiency in the perspective of our engineering education. So don't think of English literature. Literature language is far different from the professional technical language, because rather than you say, if there is a huge, if we go on stand in some Ooty, Kodaikanal or a Darjeeling, English literature guy may say, see, look at the mountains, greenery, how beautifully they are. Look at the clouds, look at the rain, a very fantastic environment, a fascinating thing he may explain. As an engineer, look at the rocky construction, see the topography, see the geographical locations of this, look at the clouds density at the peak of the mountain. Due to the valley, it has been absorbed. Look at the, say, intensity of the rainfall. This is what the language of our engineers. See, the conveying is a proficiency. Proficiency comes out of a vocabulary. Vocabulary should be of our own profession. Then only we can transfer our knowledge effectively to our trainees, that is our students. And in turn, a student can acquire a technical skill, technical vocabulary, and he can call himself as an engineer after 4 years. See here, what is again the state of the art? What a trainer should focus upon. A trainer should know, before, irrespective of whether he is a mechanical engineering teacher, a civil engineering teacher, or an English teacher, or a librarian, irrespective of this, a teacher has to focus much upon the language of learning exposure, language learning exposures, how exactly the language learning exposure takes place, and effect of this teaching collocations on English language proficiency, the level of English proficiency among the students, the mode of teaching by learning English language. These things have to be much focused by a teacher rather than a student or a trainee. So when you focus much upon this, a trainer should become proficient in the language of his own branch, language of his own community, language of his own professionality. So he can become a professional. So now, coming to our scenarios in government engineering colleges, because we are tied up with some sort of an environment where we have a limited resource, a limited staff, students with a far high ranking, or colleges situated far away from somewhere else. So this is what situation of engineering college. Let me talk of the scenarios of engineering, government engineering colleges in Karnataka. Says as per the AICT, it has been made English language. They have made compulsory for our students, and they have appointed English teachers also. They are also working very satisfactorily. But what about the our say the proficiency or our student in-depth details? See, what we find the students, the variety of the students, what we find in our engineering government engineering colleges is the students have diversified background in the area of English learning. In the lower classes, means majority of the students in our say in our GECs, much amount of students might be from Kannada medium. Their locality might be a village. The parents may be unqualified. Occupation may be something else. So these are all the things what we get. These are our inputs, our trainees. We have to train them. The trainer, these trainees have to be considered as the respondents by the trainers. We need to consider them our respondents, because we need to showcase our efficiency on these samples only. These are our samples. After 4 years, we leave them in the market. How many of them have succeeded? How many of them have proficiency? Depending upon that, we have to acquire, we have to say our efficiency. So this is what a diversified background students we get in our GECs. The media of instructions will also influence much on the proficiency of the learners. The media of instructions. In changing world, instructions will be delivered in many ways, like online, chat and talk, video clips, or many more. Right from the inception of this corona, we ourselves are doing the classes online. But how effective it is, it's unmeasurable. Unless a teacher concentrate much about their individual students, we can't ascertain. Only thing we can take attendance, only thing we set up their marks and we say, so this is the pass percentage, okay, fine. So this is what we are doing. But I hope it is not a right way. So now, what is the role of trainers or teachers over here? Concentrating on the influencing factors. See, a student or a trainee, if he comes and we say the trainee, suppose after first year or after second year, so this guy, these set of guys are not capturing something else. They are not capturing the knowledge transferred in the class by some teacher or by some other teacher they are capturing. And few mass of students, they are ineligible to write something else. They are incapable to write a letter. Like that, we have to concentrate on each and every student and we have to identify what factors have influenced on those students. Why they are not poor? Why they don't have proficiency yet in half of engineering they have finished, and even after that they don't have a proficiency in English. Why? What might be the reason? Such a focusing has to be made by a trainer, we the teachers. When we attentively concentrate on those things, so we may identify few factors. Okay, fine. This is affecting this guy. This is affecting these four guys on their proficiency level. Why they are not strong in English? Why they are not strong in their language hold? Why can't they transfer their knowledge? Why can't they write very well in the internals or in the examination? So the factors influencing on the proficiency of a student, how to be identified by a trainer itself, the teacher. Mean to say, we the people of GEC, for our own students, we need to identify them. We need to identify. Say, when we identify them, among those, what best we may find n number of factors. At least we may say more than 50% of the students are getting affected by this factor. So that we find some remedies. Let us do some remedial things for that. We analyze, justify some remedial things, inculcate them in our day-to-day teaching, and make the students to be a proficient engineer. So that is what the trainer role is. The trainer role, rather than just an English teacher, we all of us, all the teachers of all branches, irrespective of the branch, we have this thing. We have this responsibility of, say, identifying these factors. So now, just as a pilot study has been made in this area, where in the government engineering colleges, a few factors which might influence on the proficiency of the trainees have been listed. See, look at few factors which have been listed out over here. Let it be the medium of instructions, which the student might have been undergone up to his 12th standard, or even today, we to some extent may teach in Kannada itself for our students. Being produced as an engineer after 4 years, we may talk in English, hinga barutte, hanga barutte, adu hogutte, idu hogutte, in the neutral gender. No, not at all. We should not. The medium of instructions, as it is clearly ascertained by the university and the curricula, so we need to speak out with the proficient language, which helps the student to acquire a very good job, to play in a global competitive market efficiently. That has to be done. See, the medium of instruction might be a factor. A locality of the college may be a factor. Look at the localities of our own college. Say, if we say, I myself recently gone to Huvin Hadagali. It is situated in a taluka place, Huvin Hadagali. It is some 6 to 8 kilometers away from the taluka place, where we don't find a sip of tea. How can we find a professional people over there? Of course, a student, when he goes out of a college or enters or go out of a gate of a college, he can see only the layman. How can his language may improvise? Nowhere. We, the teachers, have to look into that. We, the teachers, have to identify these factors, their parental qualification, all the GECs, except a few. We get a farmer's son, a labor's son, labor's daughter, like that, below average and average economically, and as far as educationally, we find such people. Parents' occupation may be a factor, parents' qualification may be a factor, a gender may be a factor, father's education level, mother's education level may be a factor, parents' income is also a factor, because see, a parent is, if he is highly, if income is very high, we may keep. Now, as far as the teachers, we, the teachers, are honored and offered with a very good salary, where we can place our children in a very beautiful rented house itself. But think about the people with a poor class. What they can do? You look at our engineering colleges situations, where majority of the students, if the hostel is available, they stay in the hostel. If not, they go to a BCM hostel. If not, they go to minority hostel. If not, they go to something else where they can afford a less cost thing. So that is also a factor, where they reside in, the residing where the students stay. That itself is also a factor which influences to an extent possible on the language proficiency. And the medium of study, mother tongue. If a mother tongue of a student, if it is say, think it is a Kannada, he can speak something like, if it is a Kerala, it belongs to Tamil, they say Sasi Sekaran. How can we understand it is Shashi Sekaran? They never say Shashi, they say Sasi. Even they write SASI. So that is what English is. Somebody say scheduling. We say scheduling. Somebody say entrepreneurship. Somebody say entrepreneurship. So this is how the mother tongue influences. So all these things should be identified by the teacher. We, the teacher alone, because we are paid for that. Mode of instructions. What mode of instructions are there? Locality of the college, as I told. Availability of the advanced literature, internet facilities. Say availability of advanced literature means in the recent past, VTU is providing a good literature things for our students through some e-consortium. In the recent past, it has been opened and we are using those facilities. Internet facilities, it has become a dream in the government engineering colleges. So to some extent, now IDP, because of our honorable directors and the commissioners, sir, we are utilizing the IDP amount for facilitating our staff and the student with internet facilities. The class strength, it depends, it's a fixed one. Rank in the eligibility. The CET ranking, we get very high ranked students, a lakh, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, like that. But even after that, the bound duty of a teacher is to train them, make them proficient, make them a professional engineer. We have to struggle. Teaching and learning hours, learning and teaching and learning hours, recent past, it is a pathetic, it is a miserable state of a teacher. A very huge syllabus subjects, they have brought it down to 3 hours. Syllabus is same, but teaching hours is only 3. This is a state, but since we are in the Tier 2 institutions, we can't command over the syllabi, we can't control the curricula. So what is stated by the university, we need to follow. And say teaching learning mode, we may teach, a teacher may teach online mode, offline mode, or a blended, or a chalk and talk, etc. We can use many ICT tools. As far as we possess that, in the recent past, we received all the GECs have received, say, LCD projectors with a UPS and all, with say smart boards we have. We can make use of them to understand, to skill develop of the students and to make them proficient or the professional engineers. Many such factors a teacher has to list out, not the training. We, the trainers, have to list out these factors. Depending on the factors, what remedial things we need to do, we have to take care. A teacher's duty is to take care of these things. So now, as a pilot study, as I told, factors with respect to the GECs, our GECs. Say, if you look at the medium of study, a Kannada medium, maybe Kannada medium up to 10th and English, then he has studied English, or the entire thing a student might have been studied in English medium. A locality, look at the locality, a rural, semi-urban and urban. Parents' qualification, maybe a literate or below degree or master degree like that. Rank in eligibility, CET ranking, think of this teaching hours, etc. So all these things, see, we need to categorize. It's our duty. A teacher's duty is, let us follow the students. There's a very beautiful concept called mentoring. We need to mentor our students. A group of students, 10 students will be assigned to a teacher genuinely for the salary what we take. We need to mentor them. We are offered with a good salary. At least in the evening when we take the dinner, we should think what is in our hand, whether it's a rice or a dung. If we think on our own things, what I have done today, depending on that, we will improvise ourselves also. We'll improvise ourselves. We improvise ourselves, our efficiency, and progressively our students will also be improvised. So the mother tongue, we say Kannada, Marathi, others, availability of advanced literature, whether only hard book, bound books are there, no internet is there, whether book bounds are there and internet is there, or only in internet we are believing. Nowadays, many of the students, they look at everything on their own internet, on their own smartphones, and they talk of the thing I have read in the internet. Nobody is ready to write. Nobody is ready to use the books. And we, the teachers, we connect the mobile to smart, say LCD, and we display something else and we talk something and come back. No, should not be. We, the teachers, we need to look into the prosperity of our students after 4 years. Not for just one semester. I have taken only one subject I have taken and I'll enjoy. No, not like that. So for the whole life, they are our students. So think of these factors. We need to think of these factors, and we have to think as a teachers, as a genuine teachers, for which our government is offering us, or who have employed us, and what we are living today by the salary paid by the government. We should think of this in the perspective of our students. See, look at this now. Just more than 50% of the students belongs to Kannada medium, which we receive as our trainees in our engineering college. Look at the locality. Almost around 60% students we are getting from the rural background. Look at the mother tongue. We get more than 70% of the student from the Kannada mother tongue. Parental qualification, say high end of qualification, we get only meager amount of students. Staying, say in the college hostels, much amount of students will stay. More students will stay in the PGs or say with parents like that. So this is what the trend of the students, what we get in our GECs, in government engineering colleges. As far as rank in CET is concerned, you think more than 50%, they are more than 50,000 ranking. Students, what we get, the quality of the students, more than 50% to lakh, almost 50% of the students we get more than 50,000 rank and more. See, these students we get, and we can't run away from our responsibilities and say that very poor input we have got, so that this result is very poor. Because the student is very poor in English, he has not become proficient. No, this should not be from from our side. As a trainer, at least for the 4 years what they pass, the student is together with us for 4 years. Within that span, at least we have to improvise to the extent of 30 to 40% of his skill sets. That is what our bound duty. Skill sets. Skill sets will be improvised by delivering the knowledge. Knowledge delivery effectively takes place when we are proficient in the language, and when we make our student proficient in the language. So this is what is of paramount interest of today's government engineering colleges. So what I feel is personally. So now, what elevative measures? These are all the factors what I told. These factors will influence much. Like say, the rank may influence, teaching hours may influence, locality may influence, the facilities what we provide in the college may influence. But apart from what we have or we don't have, it doesn't matter. A teacher has got a knowledge. A knowledgeable teacher has been appointed by the government of Karnataka as a teacher in GECs. Okay, fine. We have the knowledge. We have to learn how to transfer that. Okay, fine. I am effective in transferring. Fine. We may say we are all effective in transferring our knowledge. Okay, fine. Whether the trainee is effective or not, that depends upon that also. I can't say, I can't sit on a bullock cart and say I will go to Delhi within 5 hours. No, not at all possible. And since I am paid to reach Delhi, I should not say I have only bullock cart, I can't reach Delhi. No, at least we should reach Pune. Say, make the bullocks, activate the bullocks, make them inspired. So teach them, identify what are the drawbacks of that, try to improvise them. Then at least you can reach them to Pune. So that is what the bound duty of us as a paid labor of Government of Karnataka, paid labors. So we have to do that as a trainer. But what a trainer has to do, we the trainers has to do in perspective of our trainees, our students. Whatsoever we do, we should keep our students in mind and their efficiency in mind, and then we should do the same to them. So that is what we need. What elevative measures, remedial things. Till now I told all the problems. What elevative measures, what remedial things we have to make. The positive influence of this English proficiency on an engineering student can be improvised by undergoing English medium of study at the lower levels if he has done up to 12, or else do some remedial classes. By and large, a teacher has to improvise a student. Proficiency of a student has to be improvised. So by and large, we need to do that. If he is not belongs to English medium, okay, fine. What he needs, let us provide.
Professor Arun.
Yes, sir.
Just time up because I'm
just 5 minutes, sir. Finish. I'll finish.
5 minutes, sir.
Okay. Right, sir. Right, sir. So this is what along with this, teachers' efficiency will also play a vital role, as I told. Say to last slide, what I can best say is proficiency in English opens the door to a more diverse and satisfying collection of educational and professional opportunities for our students. What best we can do for our students, we need to do. We, the teachers, have to do, and we will do. I hope all the teachers will do this for our stakeholders, our students, for whom we are paid. Thank you. If you have any queries, clarifications, or anything else pertaining to this, I'm ready. You can ask me, please.
Any question from audience? Redcast Swami Gavai. Hello.
Hello, sir. Tell me, sir, please.
Yeah, I think Renaka Swami Gavai has asked raised this question. Gavai, you can type your question if you have any questions on the chat box. Hello. Yeah, I think yes, lies by mistake. Dr. Arun, thank you very much. In spite of, I think you had a lot of other busy schedule. I had to just schedule it for this session, for this particular series. Thank you very much for a wonderful session, Dr. Arun KV. So next we have, next we have Dr. Sahana from Government Engineering College. Sahana, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Government Engineering College, Kushal Nagara. And she'll be talking on applications of graph theory.
Arun, can you stop sharing?
Arun, you can close your screen, Arun. Arun? Madam, yeah. Madam, now you can share. You have slides, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can share the full screen and can start presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah, Gavaya sent a message saying that thank you, Dr. Arun, for wonderful session. which make all GEC teachers to rethink on their teaching techniques. Thank you very much, Renata Swami.
Sir, is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible. You can start, madam.
Yeah.
Yeah, continue. Thank you.
So, good evening, everyone. Myself, Sahana B, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Mathematics, GEC Kushalnagar. First, I would like to thank AROHAN team and the DT for giving me an opportunity to share information about graph theory and its application. So here, topics covered are definition, types, and applications. So before coming to the applications, I will give some basic terminologies related to graph theory. So because so many are new to this topic. So definition of graph is, it is nothing but a collection of vertices and edges. So it is usually represented as G is equal to V comma E, where V is the set of vertices and E is the set of edges. So here you can consider, from the figure you can see that A, B, C, and D are represented as vertices, and the relationship are connected by edges. So next definition is vertex. Vertex is nothing but a fundamental unit represented by a point in a graph. Vertices are connected by edges, and edge is nothing but a line or arc connecting two vertices. So it can be directed or undirected, that is in one way or two way. So degree is nothing but the number of edges connected to a vertex. So a vertex with 0 degree is called as isolated vertex. Next is path. A sequence of edges connecting sequence of vertices is called as path. And cycle is a closed path where the first and the last vertices are same without repeating any edges or vertices except the starting and the ending point. Connected graph. A graph where there is a path between every pair of vertices is called as connected graph. So next is weighted graph. Weighted graph is nothing but a graph. Here we assign some numerical value for each and every point and edges. That is, it is nothing but, it can be represented as distance, cost, or capacities. For example, Google Maps uses weighted graph to determine the fastest route between two locations. It is also called as shortest path problem. Next is a directed graph, a graph where edges have directions. You can see in the figure, we have a direction from A to B. So it cannot be traversed backward from B to A. So in undirected graph, we can traverse in both the direction. Simple graph. A graph with no loops and no multiple edges between same pair of vertices. That is, loop is nothing but an edge which connect a vertex to itself. It is also called as self loop. So here between two vertices we are having multiple edges. So pseudograph is a graph is called pseudograph if it has both multiple edges and loops. It can be seen from the figure B. Okay. Now, already I have told that weighted graph is a graph where each edges and vertices can be assigned some value. This is an example for edge weighted graph. There are two types of graphs in this. That is vertex weighted graph and edge weighted graph. A graph with a weight for each vertex is called as vertex weighted graph. Here, this is an example for edge weighted graph. Here, between 0 and the first node, we have assigned some value, that is 3. This can be distance, cost, or time, or capacity. Complete graph. A graph where every pair of vertices is connected by an edge. So in the figure, you can see that vertex A is connected to B, and it is also connected to C, D, and E. Similarly, B, C, D, E are connected to each other. In other way, we can say that all the vertex is having the same degree. This is this type of graph is called as complete graph. Now, bipartite graph. A graph where vertex set is divided into two disjoint sets. So that is every edge connects a vertex from one set to vertex in the other set, and there will be no edges within each set. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is connected as one set, considered as one set, and A, B, C, E as another set. Next one is cyclic graph, a graph containing at least one cycle. So in this figure, you can see that there is a cycle. There is a direction from A to C, C to B, and B to A. This is called as cyclic graph. This is an example for acyclic graph. There will be no cycle. So next is a tree. So a tree is nothing but connected acyclic graph, and it is also a subset of a graph. So in this figure, you can see that any two vertices are connected by at least one path. This figure represents a tree. Okay. Here, next is applications of graph theory. Graph theory is used in many real-world applications, including transportation, social network, computer science, internet, etc. And also it is used in economics. That is, graph theory is used to analyze supply and demand networks and market dynamics. And it is also used in chemistry. That is, it is used to represent molecular structure and chemical reactions. So one of the major applications of graph theory is in computer science and networking. That is, by using this, we can solve shortest path problems. So the first one is routing and networking. That is, graph model networks like internet, social networks, etc., where nodes are computers or devices and edges represents connections. Okay, and also it is used in data structure. So a graph in a data structure is a non-linear data structure that represents the relationship between objects using nodes and edges. Here, to represent graph, we are using tree structure. Otherwise, you can also use bus structure. Next is pathfinding algorithms. So here, we are using algorithm like Dijkstra's, A-star, and Bellman-Ford, used to find the shortest path or most efficient path in graphs. So later I'm going to discuss about Dijkstra's and A-star algorithm. So I have already told that it is used to find out the shortest path, and also it is used to find out that is how the data or information flows within the system. So here, devices or computers are considered as nodes, and edges are indicating the connection. This structure helps to analyze network topology. Network topology is nothing but physical and logical arrangement of nodes and connections in a network, facilitating optimization and security assessments. And also, I have told that data structure can be represented as a tree. You can see the tree structure here. And also, it can be represented as a bus structure. So here we are using tree structure. Trees, a type of acyclic graph, serve as a fundamental structure for organizing data efficiently, enabling quick searching, sorting, and manipulation can be done using this structure. They facilitate hierarchical relationship and optimize algorithm in various applications, including database and file systems. So here I'm going to explain Dijkstra's, and later I'm going to explain A-star algorithm. So this method is used to find out the shortest path from one node to the remaining nodes. Okay, here I'm considering here I'm finding the shortest distance from the node 0 to the node 6. Okay, in each and every step we are considering the nodes which is shortest to reach that node. Okay, here I am considering 0 as the source node. So the remaining nodes are considered as unvisited nodes. So since 0 is the source node, I'm assuming 0 for the 0 node, and I'm considering setting the remaining nodes. I'm considering as an infinite value for remaining nodes, that is 1 to 6. Here, the adjacent node of 0 is 1 and 2. So here it will calculate the shortest path to reach the node 1 and node 2. So marking node 1 as visited and considering the source node. So from source node to one node, the shortest path is 2. So it will assign 2 value for 1. Next, from moving to one node, considering this as the current node, so the adjacent node to 1 is 3. So the shortest path to third node from the source node is, it will add the path distance here. That is 2 plus 5 is 7. So it will assign the value 7 for the third node. Okay. So the adjacent nodes for 3 is 2 and 4. So starting considering the 0 as the source node, it will calculate the shortest path to reach the third node. Here, if we calculate the path distance here, it will 8 plus 6. It is more than 2 plus 5. Therefore, it will reject this path and it will assign 6 value for 2. Next, it will move to the fourth node, assigning value 7 to the third and 6 to the second node. It moves to the third node. The adjacent nodes of third is 4 and 5. Again, considering 0 as the source node, it will calculate the shortest path to reach fourth node from the source node. So here the path distance, shortest distance to reach 4 is 2 plus 5 plus 10. So that is, the value will be 17. So it assigns the value 17 to fourth node. So again, to reach the fifth node, considering 0 as the source node, the value will be 22. Okay. So now to reach the sixth node, it considers the shortest node here. Here, shortest distance is the fourth node. So here it will add 2 to 17, that is 19. So that is the shortest path to reach from 0 to 6. It will traverse in the reverse path, that is from 6 to 4, 4 to 3, 3 to 1, and 1 to 0. This is the path, shortest path distance to reach from 0 to 6. Next, A-star algorithm. A-star algorithm extends the path that minimizes the following function. So the formula is f of n is equal to g of n plus h of n. Here, n is the last node on the path and g of n is the cost of the path, that is the value assigned to each edge. Start node to end, that is node n, and h of n is the heuristic function that estimates the cost of the cheapest path from node n to the goal node. Here, I will consider this example. So A-star algorithm, in A-star algorithm, that number written on the edges here, between A to B, they have assigned some value for the edge here. So this represents the distance between the nodes, that is from A to B, the distance is 6. The number written on the node represents the heuristic value. So heuristic functions is nothing but which helps to find the solution to a problem quickly. So here we are finding the shortest path from node A to the final state J by using A-star algorithm, considering this formula. That is f of n is equal to g of n plus h of n, where g of n is the path value and h of n is the value assigned to the node. So starting from node A, so the adjacent nodes of A is B and F. That is node B and node F can be reached from node A. So that is we have to calculate f of B and f of F by using A-star algorithm. So f of B is, the path value is 6 and the value assigned to B is 8. 6 plus 8 is 14 and f of S is 3 plus, that is the path value is 3 and the heuristic functional value assigned to F is 6, that is 9. Comparing these two, f of F is less than f of B. Therefore, it decides to go to node F, that is the path created from source node to this is A to F. So next is the adjacent nodes of F is G and H, that is node G and node H can be reached from node F. So therefore, it start calculating f of G and f of H, considering the source node A. So that is f of G. To reach the node G from node A, first it calculates the path value, that is 3 plus 1 plus the value assigned to G is 5. That is, you will get 9 here. Similarly, f of h is the path value to reach from A to h is 3 plus 7. The path value is 10 plus the value assigned to h is 3. That is 13. Again, comparing these two. So f of g value is less than f of h. Therefore, it decides to go to node G. That is, starting from A, it will move on to F. Then it will decides to go to G. So immediate adjacent node of G is I. Again, applying the same formula, f of I is, that is from A to I, the value will be 3 plus 1 plus 3. So plus the heuristic value, that is 1, it is 8. So it decides to go to the node I. Next, finally, the adjacent nodes of I is E, J, and H. It calculates all the values by using A star algorithm. So here will be the values, that is 15, 12, and 10. So here the least value is f of j value. Finally, it decides to go to node J. So by using this, it calculates the shortest path from A to J. That is, from A, first it will move from A, then to F, then to G, and I, finally to J. So comparing these two algorithms, A star algorithm is more efficient than Distrau's algorithm for finding shortest path, because here in A star algorithm, heuristic function is assigned, which gives the priority to nodes that are likely to be better, while Distrau's explores all possible paths. So therefore, A star only finds the shortest path from source to the goal node. So, but Distrau's finds the shortest tree from specified source to all the possible goals. Therefore, A star is faster than the Dijkstra's algorithm. So next, it is also applied in biology and chemistry. So genomics, that is graph model genetic relationship and help in analyzing genetic mutations, protein interactions, and evolutionary trees. And also in chemical structure, I have already told you that it is also applied in chemistry. That is where atoms are represented as vertices and bonds as edges. Here you can see the graphical representation of proteins and genes, and also the chemical structure of chemical structure modeling. So that is, here atoms are represented as nodes and their relationship. So one of the major applications of graph theory in friendship, community detection, and also route optimization and supply chain. So nowadays, social networks are making use of these things. So that is, social networks are represented as graphs, where peoples are considered as vertices, and their interest or connections like friendship, followers are considered as edges. And also in community detection. So nowadays, community detection, it is a fundamental problem in network analysis, and also in route optimization. Graph help in designing optimal routes for delivering services, logistics, and transportation system, that is finding shortest path to reach the destiny. And also it is used in supply chain. So graph represents supply chain, identifying critical nodes and optimizing logistics. So in this figure, you can see that here peoples are considered as vertices, and their interest towards the different fields are connected by edges. So in this figure, you can observe that this person is interested only in music and photography. This can be identified easily. So that is, social networks are modeled as graph with individuals as vertices and their relationship like friendship, follow as edges. This structure helps to analyze network dynamics and how the information flows within the network and influence patterns, aiding in community detections. And also we can identify the behavior of each and every person. Route optimization. Before applying the route plan, so you can see the graph here. So to reach the adjacent node, here it is difficult to reach the adjacent node before applying the route plan optimization. So after applying the route plan optimization, that is shortest path algorithms we can minimize the travel time, and also we can reduce the cost, and it improves the efficiency. And also it is used in supply chain. So graph represents supply chains by mapping entities as nodes and connections as edges, helping identifying critical points and optimize logistics. This approach enhances efficiency, reduces costs, and improves the resilience in supply chain management. And it is also used in project scheduling, resource allocations, and neural networks, graph-based learning. So that is in project scheduling, directed acyclic graph model, task, and dependencies project management. So that is, for example, PERT chart. PERT chart is nothing but a project management tool. It is used to schedule, organize, and coordinate tasks in a project. So in resource allocations, we are using bipartite graphs. And also in neural networks, it is represented as a directed graph with layers as nodes and connections as edges. And it is also used in graph-based learning. That is, graph neural networks apply deep learning methods directly to graph data, enabling applications, recommendation systems, and molecular property predictions. By using this, we can easily sort out the problems. So that is project scheduling. If it is a 1-year project, we can split it as tasks. We can see from the figure. So that is, it is a directed acyclic graph model task in project scheduling, where tasks are nodes. That is, here tasks are considered as nodes. So, and the information flows within the tasks are connected by edges. So this structure helps sequence tasks efficiently, and it avoids the circular dependency and optimize project timeliness. And it is also used in resource allocations. So that is, here we are using bipartite graphs. So here bipartite graph is nothing but it is vertex set is divided in or partitioned into 2 sets. So here workers are considered as one set, and tasks or jobs are considered as another sets. So here, which is useful for optimal resource allocation in many-to-many matching problems by representing 2 disjoint sets as nodes, with edges indicating the feasible assignments. This approach maximizes efficiency and ensures balanced resource distributions. So that is, here one task can be handled by both the persons or a single person. So, and it is also used in neural networks. So neural networks allows the program to recognize patterns and solve common problems in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Here, input and output layer are considered as nodes, and you can see how the data information flows within the network and the complications. This structure enables complex computations, learning patterns, and decision making in machine learning tasks. And it is also used in graph-based learning. So GNN are used in varieties of fields, including social media, healthcare, and financial trading. So this represents many types of real-world data, such as social networks, molecular structures, and computer networks. So that is, GNN applied deep learning to graph structured data, allowing applications in recommendation systems, molecular property prediction, social network analysis, and more. They capture complex relationship within the data, enhancing prediction accuracy and personalized recommendations. So in one or the other way, real world data or real world applications are connected to graph theory. These are some applications of graph theory, sir. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Any questions from audience? No, I think they don't have any questions. Thank you very much, madam, for your wonderful session.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank
you so much.
Yeah, it was very informative. Yeah, we have next speaker, Mr. Pratap Rangsomaya. He happens to be our student in SKJTI, and but within a short period, he has become the director of a big company. And we have today Mr. Pratap Rangsomaya. He will be talking on data. Pratap, are you there? Pratap?
Yes, sir. Hi.
Yeah. Welcome, Pratap, on behalf of all the staff members.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we have a talk. We'll be delivering a talk on data-driven skies, transforming aerospace with analytics. And he's a director and data analytics, GE Aerospace, Bangalore. Pratap, I request you to please take over the session.
Yeah.
You can share the screen.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Like,
Yeah,
you know, once you can see. Do you see my screen?
Yeah,
Hello?
you just make it full screen. Presentation model illa.
Oh.
I think you need to screen the full screen and then you go.
Now?
Illa.
Just a second, sir.
So,
Now?
yeah, it's visible. Pratap. Please continue.
Okay. All right. I know I have probably only 20 minutes, so I'll try to keep it quick and short. So hello, everyone. Good evening. Pratap Rangaswamaya, as sir was saying, I'm a proud alum of Government Sri Krishna Rajendra Sulajubli Technological Institute. I saw Vasan sir also on the call. So I've been mentored and lectured by TGB and Vasan sir while I was graduating from SKS JTI, right? So very privileged. So quick background, born and brought up in Bangalore, did my engineering computer science in SKS JTI, and I graduated, went for off-campus hiring, and then got IBM offer, and then I took and I started with as a developer. This is 12 years back, so I'm a 2012 pass out from SKS JTI, and worked in IBM for 6 years in multiple lead roles, and I was on-site in London for 3 years. So that gave a very good career boost to my profile, and from IBM, after 6 years, a very fruitful journey in IBM, I moved to GE Aerospace, which is world's second largest manufacturer of aircraft engines. So I took GE's role again as a senior developer in the ETL space 6 years back, which is in 2018. And within 6 years, I've been fortunate enough to have a very advanced career from a senior developer to lead to senior manager to a director now, right? So currently, I am the director of data and analytics for GE Aerospace, a global leader working on data analytics projects and initiatives for GE. So when we talk about, so today's topic, what I chose was data-driven skies transforming analytics with aerospace. Very quickly, I'll touch. I know it's a fag end of 2 hour sessions you all have had. So I'll try to keep it very brief and interesting, right? So what we do in an aerospace industry and how our data analytics plays a critical role is what I'll be quickly talking upon today. So as I said, GE Aerospace, second largest manufacturer and first largest in the US domain. Actually, this year we are celebrating 25 years of GE Aerospace in India. If you follow aerospace industry and the news around it, right? So GE is the big name in the aircraft engines manufacturing, and then we do have a lot of supply chain shops, overall shops where engines get serviced. So we are celebrating 25 years just in India this year, right? So, and it's a 120 years old company, was invented by Thomas Alva Edison, right? So Edison invented this company 120 years back, and then it's a legacy in itself, right? So this is a purpose statement of the company. Again, I'll not go in detail because I'm not here to talk about the company specific, but just quick highlights is just in 2023, there were 3 billion passengers who flew with the GE technology. right? For us as a company, it's a very, very huge. So I don't think any of us can imagine a world where we will not have a flights in future also, right? So while there are new technologies coming in, right? So you cannot imagine that there will be no flight as a transportation mode at all, right? So it becomes very critical for this industry from the time when it started with flight data recorders, where the data of the flight being recorded during the flight and off the flight, on the flight, how critical it is. Because for us, being in this industry, safety is the topmost priority, right? Obviously, all and other industries, safety is the priority. But when it comes to air flying, there is like even a 0.001% error would cause issues or deaths of hundreds of people at the point, right? So when 3 billion passengers in a year flying on our engines, so the company's main motto is to bring them home safely, right? So that's built in our purpose statement. Again, specifics to aerospace, so 40,000 employees globally, 60% sales are outside the US, even though it's an US-based company, 81 different sites, supply chain sites where the manufacturing happens, right? And then from a revenue point of it, again, the company is highly revenueized company. And that is where, if you guys understand the aerospace industry, the services part of the industry is where we get the major revenue, right? If you see 12.5 billion of revenue is derived from just the services. So in fact, when we sell an engine for a customer, we sell it at loss. We don't make profit there, right? But when actually the service comes to, engine comes to a service over the period of its lifespan of 15 to 20 years, that's the lifespan of engine. Again, a fact that I was at least surprised when I heard that aircraft engine stays from 15 to 25 years before it gets retired, right? So between that time is when we make money, and that's where the revenue lies. So again, a very interesting fact on an aircraft, right? Every 2 seconds, it's not even 2 minutes, right? Every 2 seconds, an aircraft right now as we speak is powered with GE technology. Now, why am I sharing too much of the GE data in itself on company stuff is because it's a preluding thing to the conversation. What I'll have you do today is how much of data with all of this being involved as an organization is generated on a daily basis, right? Again, a quick picture which shows the life of an engine from a raw material procurement to moving to a supplier base, and then warehouses and inventory getting manufactured in component shops. So that is one part of the supply chain sites, and then it moves to an assembly and testing where all the components are assembled and then tested. Then we build a new engine after certain years. It goes into services. It becomes a customer asset, and then we also do on-wing support. The nearest on-wing support we have is in Singapore, and then there are repair shops, overall shops. So that's part of the MRO organization as well, right? So again, as I said, 15 to 25 to 30 years, this whole lifespan of an engine, right? Now, from the time the raw material is procured for an engine manufacturing, right? It can be as simple as you see in the picture in itself. It can be a metal or a powder or an element which is actually helping just a tiny polishing on top of the engine to a bigger component, right? Every single data in an organization, in a supply chain industry, in a manufacturing industry has to be tracked, right? Now, there is engine data, there is item data, there is raw material data, there is, of course, other master data, which is all suppliers, customers, items, and everything. But there is also a huge amount of transactional data, which engine gets tracked and during its lifespan. And also there is a huge amount of data when the engine is actually delivered and when it is on the wing of an aircraft. It keeps generating, so that data becomes very critical for an airliner to decide and make decisions and do analysis to ensure that the engine is healthy and safe from a safety point of it. Right. So again, from a manufacturing, again, all of you might have heard today we are in Industry 4.0, where we are talking about Internet of Things, network, cyber security, and all of that. From the time when G started, it was Industry 1.0, and then we have progressed to Industry 4.0, which is the way of doing things from a manufacturing industry point of view. Right. So again, no details, just a quick flash what Industry 4.0. So how the digitization of the data and the information is actually embedded in the new way of building things is what this slide says, right? From an artificial intelligence to a cloud computing to big data analytics, everybody is talking about AI today, right? So how the supply chain processes itself has been transformed to digital world, and everything is now digital supply chain, right? And how AR and technologies have come and helped a lot of these manufacturing industries to speed and do a better process. So now moving to the topic, which is state of data and data analytics in the aerospace, right? So again, this slide, it's downloaded from one of the Twitter feed. I loved when I saw that, right? So a day in data, you can imagine, I wouldn't read out every single number here, but bytes and gigabytes, terabytes, petabytes, right? I know most of us use the floppy disk, and all of the stories we have heard, IBM had bigger machines just to carry a 1 GB data kind of a thing. But now we talk beyond petabytes and exabytes, right? So lot of, even some mobiles are running in terabytes and gigabytes, higher side of the gigabytes. And if that small devices can do, imagine the data being generated, and it is definitely an exponential growth on a day-to-day basis, right? So data plays, again, data is the new oil. Again, another statement you commonly would have heard everywhere, right? So it feeds information, and it makes things much better and useful for informed decisions, right? So that's what we use the term in the industry, right? So data is the oil where it helps us to do informed decisions because we have those data to make those decisions. So again, transactional and machine data, these are the two different types of data, at least in a aerospace industry or any manufacturing industry. As I was speaking, there is a machine information, whether it's items and parts and assembly. And there is, of course, transactional information, that where the data is moving, how are the work orders created, purchase orders created, all of that information on the transactional side from a shipment point of it, and what is the warehouse movement and things like that. So there's huge amount of data being generated. Now, when we actually look into this data, most of it seems to be a structured data, right? Which is, again, I don't have to explain what it means, is basically where you can put the data in a row and column format, right? So relational database, databases, where you can actually structure the data. But in our industry, the challenge is most of it is in the unstructured format. All our contracts, what we build, because we do work with militaries, and especially the US government, you could imagine how difficult it is to work with an US government and then policies and regulations there. All the contracts, the PDFs, right? It's in an unstructured format. All the images. So a worker goes on the wing support and then takes an image of the engine, right? How do I translate that image data into a relevant format so that we can do an analysis, we can do an analytics on top of that data, right? That plays a very important role, right? So if you see the estimation, 80% of enterprise data today from Gartner, the estimation is 80%, which is in the unstructured format. Because we have all been used to working with SQL and tables, formats, Excels, and all of that, where we can represent the data very well. But we also have to deal on the unstructured way, where a lot of this data is in the different format than easy to represent in a row and table. Right now, when it comes to analytics, again, this is a very generic explanation of what are the different types of analytics. It starts from descriptive, right? It gives only information on how our things are going, and then it moves to a diagnostic, which is, so descriptive is in hindsight, right? Hindsight information of it only gives about everything is going well or not, but actually doesn't give a business context. But the next stage of analytics is diagnostic, which is a foresight, that is in future, right? So why did it happen? Explain the cause behind the outcome of descriptive analytics. So descriptive analytics gave an output, and then why did it happen is what diagnostic analytics gives. Then it comes to predictive analysis, which is insight. That is where we understand the data from a statistical data and transactional data. We understand the data and predict using predictive technologies, using AI and technologies, right? Because all of the AI, chat GPTs, all of these mostly are at this level, right? Predictive. And we predict what could happen in the future. Now, moving beyond analytics, which again, a lot of companies have not moved to this stage, is perspective analytics, where for those predictions, it also gives a business context, right? It provides a suggestion how to solve those business problems, right? And finally, ending with cognitive, which is on the inference side, right? So now there are a number of intelligent technologies, like again, advanced AI, which we should call, and deep learning methodologies, where it can perform the same task as what a human brain can do, right? So there are some very advanced companies who have moved to that stage of cognitive analytics, right? Now, just to give a perspective to the depth of how data analytics plays, right? Most of the companies are in descriptive or diagnostic state of analytics, right? And GE specifically is in predictive, right? We have not moved to prescriptive or cognitive yet, right? We are far behind again because of the US regulations and stuff. But there are some companies who have done analytics using prescriptive and cognitive methods, right? So that's the deeper level. The cognitive is the highest possible level today to go much deeper on how an analytics-based solution can be used to understand the data better, right? Again, this is on evolution. A lot of computer technology started in 1960, and 2005 was where the big data, all of us, even when we were in college, everybody was talking about big data. There were courses on Hadoop and big data and all of that, right? So now it has been beyond all of this, right? So data analytics today in the market, in the regions, have grown much bigger. I'm sorry, I'm rushing through. Please stop me if something doesn't make sense, but I'm trying to cover the time I have. So again, from a data pipeline, so the usual data pipeline any organization use, and specifically again with GE Aerospace, it's extraction, transformation, load. And again, a lot of you would have heard who are familiar with the ETL and ETL technologies and tools. We extract the data, we transform against the business rules, and we load into the target system where that data is being used for the analytics. And this is a reference architecture. Usually there might be multiple sources of data. Using data loaders, we extract the data and then take the raw data into a transformed version as per the business rules. And then we share it to the target systems where the data visualization and reporting and analytics happen. Again, hundreds or probably even thousands of tools today, right? Because a lot of you teach students, and then when you might get similar questions, what technology, what tool I need to learn, what would give better market share so that I can go and compete with people and get a job and kind of a thing. It's always, trust me, I've been 12 years in an IT industry, right? It's tough because every single day there is something new coming and it's changing the way of we think, right? So there is no specific tool as such which actually says it exists and it can give you another 10, 15, 20 years of a lifetime of a skill, right? All of us, even today, me being a director and a global leader role, I am in a journey of learning things and then learning new technologies like AI, ML and advanced AI, ML, right, like this. But at least this is giving how many tool sets have been generated over a period of so many years in the market, right? Now, again, a favorite topic, data and AI, right? How data and AI is built. This is again a view of deep learning, neural networks, gets bigger into machine learning, and then the artificial intelligence part of it comes, right? So as you grow up, the horizon becomes bigger, and then the data is feeding all of these layers, right? From deep learning to neural networks to machine learning, artificial intelligence, or the other way around as well, right? So this is another representation of just exactly what I thought in the previous slide. Now, everybody talks about LLMs, large language modules, right? And then I'm sure a lot of us are using ChatGPT, right? We have our own version of ChatGPT because we are not allowed to use ChatGPT as an organization. We have called something called AI Wingmate, which is also based on GPT-3 technology, right? So that's the base of ChatGPT as well. And we are slowly moving to others. So if you see, it's 175 billion parameters. It is billion parameters which are defined in GPT-3 itself. And if you go forward and everybody is talking, and Elon Musk, I'm not sure if follow Twitter, Elon Grok is getting in news where he has put a new tool with GPT-4, which we don't know what are the number of parameters. Nobody is able to calculate them yet today, right? Which is also, there was a revelation just yesterday that that tool can actually predict looking at the images and x-rays and scans and say where exactly it needs to be operated. And if that becomes a reality tomorrow, it will be a game changer in the industry, right? Again, different LLMs, how it is structured. Okay, so this was again, I think a year back when AI was everything, it came in a newspaper, and I took a screenshot and I keep sharing this in a lot of the TikToks I do. While AI is there, while everybody is interested to do machine learning AI, because that is what is giving job, that is what is giving a high qualified job and stuff, right? But there are again challenges and issues, and we have to be very careful, right? So this lady made a statement that I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so that I can do my art and writing and not the other way around. But today what AI is doing everything except what human wants, right? So it sounds funny, but actually in reality it is very scary that where we all as individuals and technologists are moving using the technologies, right? With that also comes the governance part of AI and data part, right? While as I was saying, how much we trust an AI generated solution, and our all of us students and all of us, right, have to understand the responsibility, the privacy factor, the accountability, and the trustworthiness. And of course, there are hallucinations with AI that you always and obviously believe that whatever AI is generating is the right thing, but most of the cases it has been proven that it purely depends on the data. Now, again, why I'm talking about this is how much of a data plays in a role with all of it, because if you don't train it well, it can hallucinate and then give you wrong results, right? It can predict tomorrow that it will rain, but it will not actually rain. So it's a false information, right? It also, there was an favorite meme in the last year that AI assumed that a gender of that particular question was a male, right? And actually when the female was being part of that question, right? So we need to be very careful, right? I'm really sorry I rushed through it, but this was my last slide. I took 2 minutes over than the stipulated time. Any questions?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, any questions from audience? Hello?
Yeah, looks like none.
Yeah, Pratap, thank you very much for your wonderful session, Pratap. It's a privilege for us to have you on this occasion, and thank you for your informative and wonderful session. I hope each and everybody has got talented, and within a short period you have gone to a big position. And as a staff and faculty from all the fraternity, I wish you still to reach a better position and bring laurels to our institutions.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm privileged to be part of this discussion. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you, everyone. I look forward to connecting with all of you further. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pratap. Yeah. With this, we come to the end of this AROHAN series 17. So we'll once again I thank all the staff members and students for connecting this series. Thank you very much. Have a good day.